name is Jessica Miller. I work at Microsoft Research in Redmond. I work as a research software development engineer. I work on a team of designers and project managers and developers and testers that help support researchers when they want to take their research ideas and either publish them in the academic world or put them into Microsoft products. Many stars aligned to allow me to pick this profession, but the one that is probably most important is that computer science is very practical, and what I did in the classroom, I could see it being what I did in the real world. I work at Microsoft because I had an internship here 7 or 8 years ago, and I really enjoyed the team and stayed in contact with the manager and got a position with him. What I actually do on a daily basis kind of depends on the day. I get a new project, completely different project, once every 6 months or so I'm constantly learning. So a lot of my job is just learning about the latest project and the technologies we're using. A lot of it is coordinating between designers and researchers and myself and other engineers. And then a lot of it is coding as well. I collaborate with other people in my job, mainly with the researchers because we're taking their ideas and trying to polish them up for product. But I also work with designers to make their technology perhaps prettier, more fun to use. And then I also collaborate with my fellow colleagues to try to solve problems and learn about the different technologies we're using. If you think about creative and being the sense of creating things, that's the entire definition of being an engineer. You're building things. So I'm building software every day. And then from the more artistic perspective or connotation of creative, there's a lot of creativity in designing and building interesting user interfaces for people. One of my favorite projects is Cliplets that I'm working on right now. What a Cliplet is a mix of two different kinds of media. It's a mix of a photo and also a video. So you can take a video, choose a still frame, and then choose moving parts in the video. So you get like a Harry Potter-like piece of media that you can share with your friends and family. Cliplets is pretty fun because it's a new type of digital media and people can tell different sorts of stories than they can with just a photo or just a video. They're actually kind of captivating. Like a lot of times I'm supposed to be working and I end up just watching a Cliplet over and over again because it's really cute or it tells like a really nice story that couldn't have been told with just a photo or just a video. One thing I really appreciate is clear thinking. Clear, logical thinking. It's kind of a beautiful thing when a particular argument, for example, is constructed in a really nice way. Similarly with code, if code is constructed in a really nice, structured, logical way that someone can just pick up that code and develop off it and build off it, it's a joy to see that sort of thinking. That is very helpful in programming. When you're coding, trying to figure out an algorithm or how to do something, you know you really know it when you can code it. I was a PhD student for a little while at the University of Washington, and while I was there, I worked with a professor in the iSchool who was interested in understanding how the software development process happens in terms of making sure people's values get incorporated into the technology. A famous example of a value that is not frequently incorporated or put at risk is privacy. So tons of technologies are being developed and we're putting our information out there and we actually don't have a whole lot of control over how this information gets used. And so this professor was very interested in how we as software designers and developers can be a little bit better about building these technologies. When I got my internship at Microsoft Research, I was really lucky because my manager was a very open-minded person and he let me build this piece of software and alongside that do this design process of trying to make sure people's values are incorporated into this software. So it was pretty great because I got to write an actual product that got used within Microsoft, and I actually got to write a thesis out of it, as well as do something really interesting and different. And I don't really know anyone else other than me that's gotten to be able to do something like that. When I think about mentors that I've had, My best mentors have been informal ones. So one of my best friends, I went to grad school with him, and he is a computer geek from day one. So as we were working on projects together, he was a fabulous educator, honestly. So even though we were peers, he really mentored me, and a lot of the principles that I use and techniques that I use still come from, honestly, my best friend. I suppose the piece of advice I'd like to give someone in computer science right now is do an internship. Do one as soon as possible, because that's how you'll get to know what you'll be doing on a day-to-day basis. And then you just meet all kinds of people. You start to understand what you like, what you don't like. Trial by error. Do an internship on the Prontissimo. I think that there are two challenges that I've faced being a woman in this field. One is, I think that when a group of men get together in general, you see this in small boys on up to, professional athletes, but there's some competition comes out, or even some friendly aggression. But as a woman, that's a little hard to deal with sometimes. But the strategy that I have found that really helps me deal with it is to sort of do my homework before meetings, or really do my research, do some good thinking on my own, and then I'll come to the meeting pretty confident. And so if I am met with any of that competition or friendly aggression, I'm prepared, and it really doesn't faze me. So that's one thing that can be a challenge. Another challenge, I think, of being a woman in a male-dominated field is I think men can be extremely focused, even maybe slightly obsessed with what they're doing, which gives them a great edge in their careers. I'm not saying women can have that too, but I think women have also a broader view. And so maintaining a work-life balance can be challenging in this field. So what, in my meticulous way, what I do is I kind of write down each day what I do and roughly how much time I've spent doing it. And so I can be confident that I've worked enough. And it's also really nice because then I can look and see, oh, maybe I spent a little too much time on that thing, which didn't give me good results. And, oh, I spent just a bit of time on that. I can flesh out that a little bit more. So it helps me be more effective, essentially, in my job. So it helps me maintain the work-life balance, but as a nice side effect, it actually helps me get a little bit higher view and reflection on my work. I think it's pretty clear that technology is here to stay, and I think we're going to find new and interesting ways to use technology. And if you're interested in technology, you should stay in the field. If you're interested in how technology is shaping the future, you should stay in the field, because it's evolving and it's changing, and you really can have impact in the way the ship sails. Researchers at Microsoft Research come up with great ideas for technologies, and my team gets to help them take those ideas and put them in Microsoft products. And we've influenced a whole host of Microsoft products, ranging from Bing to Office to Windows to Xbox. I can point to many different features that we have helped researchers put into actual Microsoft products. Probably what I look forward to the most in my future at Microsoft is just learning all the new technologies that come by, because that's essentially my role. Just on the last project, I got to learn about cloud computing and different web technologies and graphics technologies. And this was all just in one 9-month project. And who knows what the next project will bring? I don't know, but I know I'll get to learn and have fun and work with great people.